Hi angels, welcome back to the channel and also buckle up. So I was reflecting back on 2024 because as we know it's coming to an end. And as I was reflecting, I realized that there's been so many lessons that I've learned throughout this year that's all like correlated since 2019. It's been like a transformative years for me. And so I kind of wanted to just talk about all the things that I've been learning and also moving forward. So every year I give my year a theme. And so for 2023 and 2024, the theme was being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because I have a personality type that I'm very avoidant. I don't like confrontations. I don't like uncomfortable situations. Anything that kind of challenge me when it comes to my emotions, especially in relationship dynamics. I just don't like talking about anything. It feels very vulnerable. And so I tend to just let everything slide, but then I kind of become resentful later. And so that's been something that I've been working on in the past 4 years. So I had my spiritual awakening in 2019 when I found out I was pregnant. That literally changed my whole life, my whole perception on everything, everyone. And so ever since then, I've been on this search of purpose. Like, what's my purpose? Why was I here? What can I offer to the world? What am I good at? What do I like to do? How can I just be happy? Because I've just always found myself even though I'm like happy on the outside, I always felt like something was missing. Like I just needed something more deeper, like deeper connection, especially with God. And so to start with the first uncomfortable thing that I had to come comfortable with was my faith in my relationship with God. So a little backstory. I was born into a Muslim culture. So my family, they're all Muslim by birth. That's the culture that we're into. But so for me, automatically, I became a Muslim because my mom's a Muslim, my dad is a Muslim. And so, however, my mom is more religious. She practiced more all of like the rituals of Islam. She's more into it. Versus my dad, he's more kind of was Muslim on paper, but not really practicing the rituals. And my dad raised me. And because he raised me, he was a little more lenient on religion. And so I always had, I had Islam friends, and I also had Christian friends. And so I've always been exposed to both religion. And so I always felt like, okay, I was Muslim because that's the culture that I was born into, the religion I was born into. So I just took on that identity. And so, but me, myself, I wasn't following the rituals. I wasn't praying and fasting, just like following the rules, like the religious rules and expectations. I wasn't really doing that, but I always knew of God. I always feared God, and which helped me a lot in life because I just always relied on prayer. And my mom would always tell me like that your prayer doesn't work because you don't follow the other rules. But I always thought like God was with me no matter where I am. And so being comfortable with being uncomfortable came with my faith. So in 2021, I would say that's when I was already going through my spiritual awakening when I got pregnant in 2019. And I had my son in 2020, and like COVID happened. A lot of things happened during that year. Like I was just so depressed. I was going through postpartum depression. I was so isolated. I was just over everyone. Like no one could really stimulate me in a way that I needed to be stimulated spiritually. And I tend to go on my journey solo because I don't know how to express things out loud to people. I like to just go within and kind of like solve my own problems and meet my own needs spiritually, especially. And my mom would always tell me, it's like, no one's gonna make you happy. You have to make yourself happy. You know, that's why happiness is not from the outside, it's from within. And so I always just been to myself and figuring things out. So I kind of went a little MIA, cut everyone out. It was just me and my son on our journey. And so in 2021, I think I met this pastor, and I was still transitioning about where to live, what to do. I just been on this like roller coaster of like, where am I going? What am I doing? What's my purpose? You know, just like more clarity, more spiritual clarity, and just guidance, you know. And nothing was really giving me that guidance besides obviously trusting my gut and following my heart and like my desires within. If let's say my heart's telling me, oh, stay away from these people, then I would stay away from those people. If my heart's telling me like, don't do this anymore, those hobbies that you're doing, don't do anymore, then I will stop doing those things, right? I'm just taking little step by steps, because obviously I'm searching for something, and I keep getting little guidance here and there, because I pray and I like, you know, I'm focused, I'm trusting in the process. And so I met this pastor, and she gave me this Bible. Is called Life Application Bible Study, I think, right? And so she gave me this Bible, and so I had this Bible, and I started reading the Bible, and probably like in 2021 for myself, right? Because even I went to church, I was still like, I had my Muslim beliefs, my mind and heart wasn't open to Jesus Christ. And so I was just there because they're similar. There's similar values and morals. They're really complementary to each other. So I never felt like I was betraying my family or my culture. But the more I got to read the Bible for myself, and I kept reading it in and out, I was never really consistent, sticking to it. But probably like 2023, that's when I really started to dive deeper into the Bible. That's when 2022, I moved to my own place, me and my son, we kind of got more settled down. And so I started to focus more on reading the Bible, and it's like the life application. So it has like scriptures, and then it will give you like how you can apply into your daily life. You know, it's kind of like translated for you. And so the more I started reading that, the more my heart started to shift. My perception about Christ and everything about Christianity started to shift. And I found my heart being a little more softer. I was transforming in a way that certain things wouldn't bother me. I looked at people differently, you know. I had more compassion towards people because I kept applying the Bible, everything that was telling me, you know, to like be kind, treat your neighbors love your neighbors as yourself, you know, let the Lord strengthen you, you know, and just tapping into like the Holy Spirit. And so that was another uncomfortable thing that I had to become comfortable with, because my mom is very set on me being a Muslim girl, because that's the religion I was born into, and that's the religion she was born into. And so because whatever religion you're born into, that's what you have to keep. My mom never had a choice to choose differently. That's all she knew, and so that's all she wanted for me too. And so because I started diving deeper into the Bible, into Christianity, having a relationship with Christ, and I've seen so many benefits within myself. I could relate more to Jesus, like, you know, just his passion and commitment to the Father, just the truth that he speaks, like, you know. And so it really like called out to me. And so I felt in my spirit that I needed to get baptized, which was another uncomfortable situation that I had to become comfortable with, because I felt like if I were to get baptized, that was me committing to a different religion that's not Islam, which is so different from my mom. And so that was really uncomfortable for me because my heart was telling me that I needed to get baptized to make my faith more official, to kind of deepen my relationship with Christ, you know? And so I had to have that conversation with my mom, which was really uncomfortable because I did not want to disappoint her. And I always felt like my whole life that I've been a disappointment to her because I just always went against the tribe, the culture. Like I just never fit in. You know, I always wanted to be myself, to have choices, and for my choices to reflect my authentic self. And so having that conversation with my mom was really hard because she did not like it. She was very like, no, you're born a Muslim, that's who you are, point blank, period. But when I started to when she noticed the changes within me, when she noticed like how forgiving I've became, and like how my stress and my anxiety has gone down. And when I explained to her just like the morals and values of the Christian of the Holy Bible, telling her that, it kind of like helped her a little bit. She didn't really agree, but because it made me happy and it made me a better person, she was open to hearing and to just letting me go through my process, which was really hard for me because I felt like that was the first time, because my mom was like probably the number one most influential being in my life. And so I'm getting older now, in my late 20s. And so she's kind of like, wow, I have to let her go. She's no longer a child, and I have a son of my own now. So I'm having my own family dynamic now, which is like away from her a little bit. So those were very uncomfortable conversations to have because I had to choose my faith and what's true to me. And even though that wasn't what's true to my mom, even though that would make her a little upset, and so I still had to do it. I owned my truth, I spoke my truth, and I went ahead and got baptized and gave my life to Christ. And so that's been really, really hard because my family still like, so now it's weird because right now I'm a Christian, but I come from a huge family. My mom has like 13 siblings, literally, and my dad has like that many siblings on his side. So I have a lot of family members, and I'm like the only one. So now I'm like going to family houses and just being part of my family's community. I like being judged for my faith is like really uncomfortable for me, which I'm like, because I'm making this new thing of being comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I'm kind of really surrendering to the process and just like standing my truth and my ground, and and I keep praying that God would soften their hearts, to just, we can agree to disagree and like just coexist. And I had to explain to my mom that just because I have a different faith than her, it doesn't change my heart. It doesn't change the person she raised me. And if anything, it enhances everything that she wanted me to learn from Islam, because I wasn't even able to, when we used to, in Islam culture, we have fasting times like during Ramadan and Eid. And before, when I was younger, I literally could not fast. I couldn't fast for the 16 hours or however long it was. I couldn't fast. But tell me why. And in 2024 now, this year is coming to an end, but during 2024, I was able to fast for 3 days, and it was a dry fast, without eating, without drinking water, nothing. And I did not feel like I was dizzy. I did not feel like I didn't have energy. I was so productive. I got everything done that I needed to do. Because I kept praying for Jesus to be my strength, to give me strength and to be my strength. And so it gave me even more discipline. And so because I tell my mom all these things, and because she sees all these changes within me, that's why she's a little more like coming around, even though it's still uncomfortable for all of us, you know? And so, and that was another uncomfortable thing that I had to become comfortable with, which was setting boundaries. Boundaries was something that I never even knew of, because I just always thought that you had to say yes to everything. You had to be always nice to everyone, do the right thing all the time. Just basically sacrifice your own peace, happiness, joy for the highest good of everyone else. And so this year I had to really put down strong boundaries with myself. First and foremost, I had to really put boundaries with myself, because sometimes, let's say I'm not supposed to be eating something, I would tell myself don't eat it, and somehow I find myself eating that, whether if it's like cookies or just like whatever sweets I'm having, you know. And so or like going to bed late, even though I told myself I'm gonna go to bed like 9 o'clock. So I had to really set boundaries with myself, and it started with like my own like personal routines. I made myself like a routine of like I kind of like divided my time. Like I knew like when I wake up what I'm gonna do, after I work what am I gonna do, before I go to work what I'm gonna do. I kind of had to set up a time for everything: time for my son, his routines, my own personal routines, time for me to read my Bible, time for me to work out. And so I had to put these boundaries up, so that when people ask me to do things for them, usually I would say, okay, yes, I would agree to things that I really couldn't really commit to, because I was like, then it will make me not do things that I needed to do for myself. And then it was kind of like I was giving from a place of from an empty cup. Versus now, I feel like because of all the changes, all the wisdoms that I've gained, that I've applied in my life, that I'm able to give from a place of overflow. Because it was really hard for me I couldn't find balance. I was the type of person, and I have the type of personality, it's like all or nothing. There was never like in between. And I feel like that's what I'm like moving towards right now, if having a balance, because I felt like I needed to give up all my friends, everything, to just have inner peace, to be in my own energy, to get to know myself, to understand myself, to meet my own needs. I felt like I couldn't do it with surrounded by friends and family, which obviously maybe sometimes on your journey you're gonna need to have like you're gonna need to step back and have some time to yourself, just you alone and God, and go through all of the feelings, the depression, the sadness, the unmotivation, the anger, the resentment, all the things that you're feeling on the inside. You're gonna have to go through it and actually feel them all, so you can kind of like release them, you know. And sometimes you can't do it around people, because you know they just don't understand. They might think like you're crazy, why are you always crying, why there's always something wrong, you know. So you kind of have to process your own emotions by yourself. But I'm at a point that now that I've grown so much that I can be around people and still not forget myself, because I was the type of person that could be around other people, right, because of their life. I'm very sensitive to energy, and I didn't have control over my own energy, that I would like pick up other people's energy. So if I was like, let's say I had a friend, whatever they had going on, literally I'm the type of person that would just be so involved in their life, that I forget my own life, and that I like neglect my own needs, you know. And so I'm at the point that now I have put out boundaries, whereas when my needs are not met, if my son's personal needs and my personal needs are not met, I cannot give energy to anyone or anything outside of me. That is just a personal boundary that I had to put up, and it had to start with me, and I had to own it, because my mom always, she's asking things, friends, family. I felt like I was getting pulled in so many directions that I forgot I wasn't grounded. And that's why the Bible really helped me a lot, because when I read the Bible, it kind of really grounded me in Christ's energy, and that kind of became my foundation of, of obviously of like giving, being like a kind person and going above and beyond for people, being of service, but to just like know that I don't have to depend on my own strength. I have to give all my burdens and the world's burden onto God, and just do what I can today, right now. And so it really has helped me. And that's why it's been really uncomfortable, but I had to become comfortable with being uncomfortable, with speaking my truth, owning my truth, and expressing my truth. And if I lose people along the way, relationship dynamics, then so be it. I'm no longer attached to outcomes, to people. I'm more focused on God, His purpose, His will for my life, my own inner peace, what lights me up, And so, which brings me to the end of this year, which is 2024 is coming to an end. And so moving into 2025, what's coming up for me for the theme for 2025 has been success. And when I said success, I was asking, I was praying about it, and I was asking God, what does success truly mean to me? What does that mean to me? What does that look like to me? What does that feel like to me? And what's been coming up for me was, success means to me personally that I'm able to have more inner peace within myself, peace of who I am as a person, peace of my faith in Jesus Christ, peace of where I'm headed, like my goals, my ambitions, just everything, peace and being unapologetically me, and seeing that reflected back to me. That's what success means to me. And that's what this year, 2025, the new year 2025 is coming up for me. It's mean like a year of success, meaning more inner peace, more authenticity, and just more purpose living and more intentionality in all areas of our life. And so I just wanted to come and share that with you guys, that 2024 has been a really, honestly, since 2019 until 2024 has been a really challenging, transformative years for me. Sometimes I literally feel like I feel like a brand new person now. I feel like I was in this like black hole for like these past almost 5 years of just like ups and downs. I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm mad, I'm excited, I'm energized, I like this, I don't like this. Just so many emotions within me that I feel like just now I'm like overcoming all these emotions, all these like I've climbed up this mountain. I feel like I'm already like over like the next mountain top now, and I'm about to climb up another mountain, but this time I have more strength, and I have a firm foundation. I have more self-regulation tools, and I have more self-awareness, and also I'm more spiritually equipped, and I'm more conscious too of who I am, what I want out of life, and what I expect from people, and what I expect from myself, and just because I have all these clarity, has really made me excited for the new year, and it made me more excited to meet new people, to be out and about, which I haven't felt in a very long time. I feel right now, I feel very free, very light. It kind of almost feels like a clean slate. It's very, I don't even know the words to put. It's just very exciting, and I'm very looking forward to it. And so that's why I decided that still being comfortable with being uncomfortable with my YouTube videos, because I've already dedicated to Jesus Christ. That was my first commitment ever, because I'm like, I have commitment issues, but I felt like I needed to make my relationship with God official, sealed, and just make it public, And so ever since I did that, I want to have more commitments, and that's why with my YouTube channel, I'm gonna commit to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna commit to filming. At least I'm gonna start doing at least I'm gonna do a series of benefits of just like solutions of my life experiences, things I've overcame, what's on my mind, what I'm feeling, the lessons that I've learned throughout the week. Kind of just do like a weekly reflection session on YouTube. That is my intention. God willing, if it's in God's will, may be done. And so it is, Lord, please. And if it's not in your will, Lord, then realign me, redirect me to pour my energy toward elsewhere. Where elsewhere? Oh my God, I can't talk. But yes, so that's my intention, to be more consistent on YouTube and to create more content about just life, spirituality, my relationship with God, all the lessons that I'm learning throughout the years, weekly. I feel like a different person like every other day, every day. And so I just want to share with you guys that you're not alone, and that everything is happening for you, not to you. I know sometimes when you're going through just like your spiritual awakening, or just like when you're just going through a transformative time of your life, it just feels so overwhelming. It feels so heavy. It feels like no one understands you, like no one gets it, that everyone is just happy, have their whole life together. And what I've found, that's the furthest from the truth. Like, everyone is going through something. Everyone's heart's heavy sometimes. Life is really hard. Life be lifing, but you gotta, I don't know. I can't. You just gotta keep going. You can't give up. There's so many times and so many nights that I would cry so much. I don't even know why I'm crying. It's just because sometimes, like, when you hold on to stuff or like just trauma, just a lot of energies throughout the day, throughout like your whole life, when you just hold on to so many unresolved emotion within you, it literally gets trapped in your body, and it causes physical pain. And mine literally comes in back pains. It comes in like it kind of feels like I'm about to suffocate. Like, I feel like when I get panic attacks, I have to fight for my breath, to like literally catch my breath, because I feel just so much. I'm just crying so much. It feels like I want to throw up, but nothing is coming out, and it's just like, it feels so scary. And then I met so many people that went through the same thing, that feels the same way. And just in my friends, like, we just are all going through it. We're all just changing and evolving, and we just have to be more graceful with ourselves. We have to be more graceful with other people, and meet everyone where they're at, and just keep it very positive moving forward, and just focus on not to take, if any advice that I could give you that I've learned in 2024 is to literally not to take anything personal. Nothing anyone does or say to you is personal. It's all a reflection of where they currently are on the inside of themselves. It has nothing to do with you. And if you're going through it, just know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I promise you, because there were so many times when I felt like, oh my God, am I cursed? Because when can I just be like, I just want freedom I just want freedom in a sense of I just want to be myself. I just want to breathe. I don't want to feel overwhelmed anymore. I don't want to feel so tired anymore. I don't want to feel so burdened. I don't want to feel heavy. I just want to feel light. Like, why can't I feel light? And I kept praying. I'm like, God, I will do whatever it takes. Please show me the way, because I cannot live my life like this. It's too much. And I promise you, the more you pray, the more you read your word, the more encouragement you gain, the more strength you gain, and the more wisdom you gain, and then the more clarity and understanding you gain to help you to move forward. And I still haven't seen the light at the end of the tunnel, but you know what? Because I'm rooted in God and Jesus Christ, that I know that I'm okay. Like, even though things are not perfect, I have peace. And that's the peace that I want to save. I want to hold on to this inner peace as long as I can. That's why my channel is all about inner peace, because I feel like as long as you're at peace with yourself, when you look in the mirror and you see a person that you recognize and you love that person, you acknowledge that person, and you accept that person, that and the spirit within you, it matches what you see in the mirror. When you look at that kind of peace, I'm telling you, there's no words, there's no one on earth that would ever come comparing close to that kind of peace. And that's what I've gained in this year, in the past 5 years, I would say, is more inner peace, became more rooted in my authentic self, and just know that as long as you have God, you have your health, there is nothing that you cannot overcome. And know that too, your physical body will be gone, but your spirit will forever live on. And so when you have that peace within you, that eternal reward that's awaiting for you, when you tap into that energy, life on earth becomes so much more easier. It becomes so much more freeing. Just keep your eyes on God, please. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much. Happy New Year's and happy holidays. I hope you're doing well, and I hope this message finds you well. I love you so much. EXO.